Is that it? Is that it?
Quick disclaimer before I start the video, the contents in this video may get a little sciencey and will be using big words, so please just bear with me during the entirety of the video as I will be explaining all of the facts in this video to the best of my knowledge. It should come as no surprise that not everything that is on the shelves of stores is healthy. I'd like to imagine that the general population has gotten the tendency to rank certain quality of foods that we buy depending on multiple factors such as price, the overall look of the product, and the ingredients. Now with that said, I've also noticed a massive trend coming up on social media focusing specifically about certain diets, whether it be foods with high protein amounts or supplements that you should be taking when going to the gym. In this video, I would like to be dissecting into the whole food industry and advising you, the viewer, based off of my finding, what is safe to eat and what is not, either as somebody who is going through self-improvement or is simply curious as what to eat. I'm sure you've seen the mixed opinions of soy, whether it be regarded as healthy or a food taken directly from Satan himself to turn the whole male species into manlets with dangerously low testosterone. The leading cause of this fear of soy comes from phytoestrogens, which surprisingly are present in over 300 plant species. Phytoestrogens are chemical compounds found in many plants whose structure largely represent estrogen. They are not generated in the endocrine system, but instead absorbed through the consumption of food. Basically, you don't produce them like estrogen, but rather take them in through a specific food being digested. Due to their chemical similarity to estrogen, they can bind to receptors in the body and cause estrogen-like effects in the body. Now with that said, we must also expand on this idea of phytoestrogens. I will mainly be focusing on isoflavone due to its proven effects on mammals and high concentration in food over other phytoestrogens. Isoflavone is present in many foods, even being present in dairy, seafood, meat, and eggs. So you may be wondering to yourself, well, what am I meant to be eating if everything I touch is poison? That's where the second release study done by the USDA database for the isoflavone content of selected foods comes into play. Having a look at the data, they managed to find out the total amount of isoflavone within certain foods, and the results are, well, shocking. In a single egg, there is a total of 0.05 milligrams per 100 grams of isoflavones. In chicken breast tenders and chicken patties, a total of 0.55 milligrams per 100 grams. In frankfurter beef and pork, a total of 0.50 milligrams per 100 grams. And finally, in extra virgin olive oil, 0.04 milligrams per 100 grams. Now let's take a look at the numbers in soy. In an unspecified soy cheese, there are 25.72 milligrams per 100 grams. In an unspecified soy drink, 7.85 milligrams per 100 grams. Soy fiber contains 44.43 milligrams per 100 grams. And most horridly, textured soy flour, which contains 172.55 milligrams per 100 grams of total isoflavones. That means you would need to eat 4,314 grams or 4.314 kilograms of extra virgin olive oil to match 100 gram portion of textured soy flour, which, to put into perspective of how insane that is, it's about 17 cups of extra virgin olive oil you'd have to drink. Now why is this bad? I don't think it should be insane to tell you that both men and women contain levels of both estrogen and testosterone. The difference is that both genders are meant to have very varying levels of these hormones. Men are meant to have a larger percentage of testosterone, whilst women have a larger percentage of estrogen. If there is an imbalance, we can imagine the consequences. Hormones play such a vital role, especially in gaining muscle. For example, steroid use within men is the reason they are able to gain such a large amount of muscle and lose fat so rapidly. It's because testosterone increases the amount of muscle your body allows you to add on after hitting muscle hypertrophy. Therefore, by either taking testosterone or other steroids that mimic the hormone testosterone, they are able to achieve ideal physiques. To give you an example, Trenbolone acetate is an extremely strong steroid used by bodybuilders, and it replicates testosterone-like effects in the body, but to a much higher extent than regular testosterone. If we reverse the role, and as a male have an abundance of estrogen in the body, we start to have adverse effects to our desired goal. We start to develop higher levels of fat, and even develop things such as erectile dysfunction, enlargement of the breast tissue, and that's with fat, not with muscle, loss of energy, and in some cases even depression. The National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health also claimed that side effects of soy can range from digestive upset to diarrhea, as well as thyroid alteration, however advised that it's safe to consume for women who are at risk of or have breast cancer. So you can tell your girl it's fine for her to eat her sushi with soy sauce in moderation. Moving on, you automatically lose all of the desirable male characteristics who define who you are. You essentially become a lab experiment of what happens if a man stops becoming a man. I don't think I need to stress the importance of maintaining a high level of testosterone, especially if you're on self-improvement. Not only will it help you physically, but it will also help you attract women as you adhere to desirable male features, and generally speaking, is what makes you a man. That worthlessness and almost lethargic quality you see in most men is most likely a cause of low testosterone. It's no secret testosterone levels have been steadily decreasing over the years, and we see its effects in our daily lives. Now, I would argue that soy is quite easy to avoid. Most foods containing soy have it labeled. However, just to be sure, please check ingredients of your foods. And speaking of, let's move on to food items you may not think to be harmful on your journey. Whether it be on your local McDonald's triple cheeseburger or a few spoons in your muffin recipe, seed oils are prevalent in almost every single recipe and already prepped meals or snacks that we might buy daily. The problem is not only in the extraction process, but also in the ingredients themselves. The main issue with seed oils is their leading cause of inflammation. The reason being that they contain omega-6, which, contrary to what you may believe, these aren't exactly the same as the healthy omega-3 fats found in fish. These omega-6 fatty acids substantially add to your inflammation and generally decrease your overall gut health, with the National Library of Medicine even finding evidence to point that repeated frying of these types of oils, which I can safely say happens in most fast food places, can actually increase your chances of developing cancer. But what does this mean? While your gut health is utmost important, with a healthy gut you are able to digest food better, and with an upset gut, simple things such as going to the toilet or even losing weight can become a bit of an issue, to say the least. Overall, the evidence for the negative effects of seed oils is thankfully pretty widespread today, meaning that hopefully more people, like yourself, is more aware of the negative effects of seed oils. Some better alternatives are butter, olive oil and coconut oil. I have cooked with all three of these myself, and not only do they add better flavour, but just make sense. I'd rather eat butter that was made by churning milk rather than trying to digest oil that's able to run engines. Think of it this way: when you cook with butter, you're doing God's work, as a cow is his creation. God made it so we can drink cow's milk, and we figured out that by churning it we were able to make butter. Basically what I'm trying to say is, when you eat food with butter, you're eating what God gave you, but when eating food made with seed oils, you're consuming the twisted product and consequence of the Industrial Revolution, the cheapest man-made slop, with its only purpose being a larger margin of profit without any regards for your health. Speaking of natural versus man-made, I'm sure this is going to trigger some people, but I refuse to sit here and glaze gym supplements like the rest of the gym community. For me, I find it to be an absolute pain seeing all these influencers pushing protein powders down your throat and marketing them towards children, knowing that none of them take it themselves. I refuse to believe that a powder absorbs better into your bloodstream than regular food. Not only are they overpriced, they are simply just not needed. You want to actually gain muscle? Just eat the meat. Want protein in liquid form? Drink milk. Everything your body needs for muscle mass can be found in nature. You don't need to overspend for ridiculous powders that most likely won't make a major difference. The quality of the protein powder will never be the same as if you were to just eat normal meat. And with creatine, I don't believe it's necessary. For me, it's over-the-top cope, trying to get as much muscle as possible without good results. Not only that, it's been proven to increase weight gain, muscle cramps, muscle strains and pulls, diarrhea, high blood pressure, and a bunch load of other side effects. Is all that really worth an increase in muscle gain? When you gaze upon these statues of Roman soldiers, or read the stories of great warriors with peak male figures, they didn't have any way of extracting creatine. They ate simple grass-fed meat that had enough creatine naturally to help with muscle mass. I don't believe adding so much creatine is necessary or safe, as if it were meant to be, and surely the amount of creatine will be larger in the meat we eat. I would rather have a muscle that is strong and resilient than the water-filled balloon that reps 2.5 kg for a million reps, because that's essentially what you're doing. You're simply increasing the size of the muscle by increasing water retention. It won't increase your strength, although some studies show it does increase productiveness. But I digress. If you're going consistently and maintaining a good overall diet whilst eating a wide range of proteins, and that means not only eating chicken and broccoli every day, I don't believe you need all these supplements. Rather than spending a bunch on creatine and protein powder, which are already found in food, try to focus on spending your money on better quality food that will definitely give you better results. And plus, your role in the gym isn't to increase muscle mass, but rather to increase your strength, so major supplements really aren't needed. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions or would like a part 2, please let me know, as I left out a couple of items regarding food, as I wanted to focus this video on actual food you consume rather than additives or items that impact your body externally rather than internally. So thank you so much for watching, and God bless.